Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is from someone who's really sort of emerging from a relationship with a heavy-duty narcissist. And really after that happens, or even, a malignant narcissist, basically someone who is more severe in this case, or even someone who is psychopathic. How do you really get back on track? How do you get on your feet again? I mean, it's a great viewer question. And then oftentimes is because the resultant feeling is one of being lost. The one of, of having lack of direction. Oftentimes so much of your focus has been put on this individual that it's difficult to focus on anything else. I mean, if you're so used to focusing on this one person, this one relationship, it's taken a lot of your emotional value. I talk about your your credibility jar. You feel sort of empty without them. You feel that you don't have direction because maybe so much of where you live or your friends or where your workplace or your family or so much of your activities are interwoven or now enmeshed with this individual that you feel that you can't go there anymore. You can't go to the same restaurants. You can't go to the same clubs. You can't go to the same schools, wherever it is. Oftentimes people feel a lot of life is off limits to them. And that is flawed thinking. That is erroneous thinking, meaning it is oftentimes rebound thinking while you're trying to heal from a narcissist. In other words, you're emerging sort of from that pain, that emotional pain, that darkness, that sort of deprivation. It's like being in a deprivation tank. You need to get your senses back, feeling back, in the positive. I talk about in the book that I'm working on how important it is to resensitize yourself. Have feeling for things, that are comforting, that are positive, that give your body good feedback. And, there's a feeling, yes, I would say for a lot of people, they feel very lost. They feel very bewildered on top of it. They feel that they don't have direction or cannot find direction. They don't know what their true north is. They don't know where their North Star is. They don't know where to go towards. So they basically have a feeling of giving up, of being a quitter, of being defeated, of being a loser, of being impoverished emotionally. Impoverished is a very, 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 very difficult state for a lot of people to be in. Impoverished meaning they feel that not only are they lost, but they don't have any value to themselves. The narcissist and the psychopath, they will devalue and discard you. Devalue and discard. How many times do we need to say it? Let's say it together. They will devalue and discard. Devalue. Don't, they're going to devalue you. No, they're going to devalue you. How does that make you feel? In the privacy of these videos, how does it make you feel to be just devalued? To be discarded? Okay? Right, especially at the points when you need to go to the next level of growth. This is when the narcissist is going to come oftentimes more than once, undercut you under the knees, give you, a jab in the stomach, hit you in the ribs, hit you under the chin, hit you on the face, bonk you on the head, whatever it is, there is an experience of being devalued. And how does that make you feel? And also ask yourself, how emotionally intelligent is the person who is devaluing you? If you can ask yourself that, it can help you to put it in its place. And, some people, very much will say, oh, well, for me, it's just, it goes in one ear and out the other. That's easier said than done, especially for people who have been through narcissistic or psychopathic abuse. What they say, it stays within the body. It is not in one ear and out the body. The mind is a very powerful tool. Okay, the mind we only use was thought to be maybe 2 to 4% of our brain. Maybe as generations proceed and come forward, that they'll be able to use more of the brain that we did not know about. but it's to understand that you will receive and take to heart oftentimes very literally the devaluing that a narcissist or a psychopath will do. And it's to understand that, the narcissist, and I always talk about both here, because I think the experience of being a victim, it ranges in a spectrum, but I think, a person who has experienced them, it's a similar experience of abuse, but it's just much more severe with a psychopath. I mean, it's just, it's a different category, but the feeling is also similar to those who've been abused, by narcissists, whether they're covert or overt. And oftentimes that emerges of a feeling of being lost, literally not having a direction. And this might have occurred when you were a teenager, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. God forbid this does not happen in your 80s. But a lot of people have suffered mercilessly for decades, thinking that this was normal. They did not know that this was not normal. I mean, they just did not know, or they knew it was not normal, but they couldn't put words to their feelings. They couldn't articulate. They couldn't communicate. They can't communicate to the right people, or to the people who can even give a hoot, and do something with what you're telling them. So oftentimes people, not only are they lost, but other people who quote unquote aren't lost cannot help them because they don't quite get where you're at. So it's a very, very much of a double whammy. So it's a real kind of important thing for you to identify and put words and articulate your feeling states, so you can identify the cause that's created the effect, of in your life. So it's important to understand that lost is an effect of the relationship. It's not a cause. It is an effect. It's a symptom. Okay, it's not your reality. There's more underneath it. It's like a symptom. So if you have felt lost, this is a symptom of oftentimes being, exhibited after an experience of narcissist or psychopathic abuse. It's just feeling resourceless, apathetic, feeling that life is not worth living. Or you don't know where to find. It's kind of like you don't know where to put your fingers or your foothold or your handhold. You just don't know what to grab onto. You are fearful if you grab onto something, it might take you in the wrong direction. It's scary. You can't trust yourself. You don't know what it is. You don't know how to sort of get your mind back online. Literally, it's like being disconnected from yourself, just like the way the internet is not connected and you can't go anywhere. It might say offline. That's very much kind of how people feel. And they oftentimes are very terrorized because they don't know if their life will ever get back online. They don't know if they'll spring back. They don't know if they will bounce back. And if they do, will it be good? Will it be temporary? Will it be permanent? So to understand that feeling of being lost just means you're emerging from the darkness. It means that you're no longer, it's actually a positive because it means you're no longer on the watch of the narcissist. You're no longer following that map. Oh, let's go back to that cave. Oh, let's go back, to that unhappy party. Let's go back to that, group and posse of a situation. Maybe it was your work where, you were devalued and discarded, but yet, you were expected to stay. It's very, very strange. So you have to be the one to get the big scissors out and do the old big cut. And it might be a cut by little, but then you won't feel as lost as you begin to detach from them. In other words, stop the trauma bond. Realize what a trauma bond is, the cause that's created this effect in your life, and that you didn't have any other choice. I mean, it's just like you can't be faulted for breathing. You can't be faulted for being hungry. You can't be faulted for feeling lost. This is just how it is. It's not a choice. It's not a deficit of character. It is not a character flaw. Okay? You need to really get that. It is not a character flaw. And it's also to realize that you might try to emerge from that and restore your sense of I am. And you might go to the wrong place. Some people might not get it. They might not get where you're at. They might not get the level. It's very important to find your level. Just like water finds its own level, you have to kind of follow the water. The water will give you life, but it'll also find its own level, which means it's subject to gravity and it's subject to pulling together and creating a path. So realize that, being lost, you can resensitize yourself. I am here. I am safe. And it's okay to be safe. It's okay to be on your own. It's okay to stop conforming to the enmeshment of a abuser or something of that nature. It's okay to, not identify one of your boundaries as they are meshed to another. It's okay to make a clean cut. It's okay to be separate. It's okay to have time and energy and experience pass between you that does not create an enmeshed connection. It's okay to disconnect. So oftentimes that permission base is an experiential base and a kinesthetic feeling state that you need to engage in, that you need to allow. To create a sort of new cause that creates a new effect in your life is that part of that creating and manifestation. So it's tapping into that part of your heart and then your brain in conjunction that will lead you to sort of a better understanding of your values, so that you don't feel that you're following a narcissist blindly. You're not following a psychopath blindly. You're not, having to conform and live in a fog and just, continue to feel that you don't have any senses with you. You need to restore your senses. Restore your sense of touch. What touch feels good to you and what touch is good, healthy for you, and what touch is empowering, comforting, and knowing that about yourself and experimenting. I am too cold. I am too hot. This is too stiff. This is too flexible. Beginning to understand how, the feeling of touch can be supportive. How you can get a fleece blanket, how you can wear clothing that is supportive in nature, that, is a good fit. Finding things and throwing away what is not a good fit, what does not feel good, what does not look to your eyes to be positive and encouraging. Be willing to throw away the situations in your life and get rid of out of your vision that are disempowering or reminding you of such, little by little. And same thing with all of your senses, with your what is, invigorating to your scent. Is it just as simple as fresh air, cut grass, flowers? Can you go and do some gardening? What are some things that are invigorating to you? Maybe it's a cup of tea. Maybe it's a soup. Maybe it is cooking a sauce. What can you then get your senses back online? So that you can feel restored, and you'll emerge from that feeling of being lost. Little by little, you'll put one decision in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one heartbeat in front of the other, and you will emerge, you will see, and you'll begin to be supported and carried, and you'll begin to sort of feel more safe, and life will become less of a struggle. You have to stay the course and keep the faith. You can do this. Don't forget to do your recovery date. Your recovery date might be indoors right now, but what can you do to pamper and support yourself that you truly need to feel strong and better informed and resensitize yourself? Maybe you need to start getting some real craft projects going on. Are you going to build a tree house, a deck, a table, a chair, a box? Are you going to create a computer program? Are you going to, learn and buy a guitar and have it delivered? Are you going to get a banjo, a flute, a recorder, 2 sticks, and a drum? What are you going to do to help restore and give yourself what I call the recovery gift? It's validation to yourself. I am. And that you are found. I am found. And to know, really, I think that's your heart, your purpose, and not only be able to validate that within, but then to be able to go to the next level and have it validated from without. In other words, you're actually going to the places, you're actually meeting the people, you actually find direction. No matter how short direction or long-term direction, you are finding a sense of direction, and then your momentum picks up. Allow this to happen. Allow yourself to be found. Allow yourself to be energized. Allow yourself to be. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. And I hope you get energized and allow yourself to feel energized and have a sense of direction for the short for the short term as well as the long term. Know what that is. Keep it in your heart. Keep it in your gut. Keep it in your prayers. Keep it in your smile. Keep it in your warmth. And give it love and light and watch it grow. And I want you guys to report back in a day, an hour, a week, a month. I have direction. I am. It is something you have. I have direction. Repeat that to yourself 100 times, 1,000 times, maybe 2,000, whatever it takes until you own it and you feel it and you will possess within. It's important that you have that experiential state. I experience and have direction today, and for moving forward, I also have vision and direction, and I have momentum for the short term and the long term. Repeat that again and again, and you will begin to feel victorious, enthusiastic, and excited. And take action, and then action, and then action, and follow your safety, and you will find that your safety, security, and serenity will be restored, really full throttle. Even if it's a process, it will get there. You will become. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace be with you, and have a beautiful day.